Hey everybody, it's Josh at Walnut Ridge. This week I wanted to go over something that's a pretty popular topic right now because of the time of year. In our area especially, you get these temperature fluctuations. It was, freeze warnings the other day and then 70s this weekend. But I'm going to give you a couple of tips on winterizing, hopefully to help save you some money in the future. But, most people are somewhat aware of how to winterize their unit now, but with these new units, they put on so much more options. Most of them now are coming with black tank flushes and washer dryer hookups and ice makers. There's just a lot of things that you have to remember that you need to get some antifreeze ran through, especially washer dryer hookups. If you don't have washer, not the dryer part, but if you don't have the washing machine installed, and sometimes you forget about those valves being tucked away in a closet somewhere, and so it's very easy to just overlook that. They don't get winterized and that valve will break, and then the next time you go camping, you hook your water up, you end up with water spraying in a closet that usually you don't catch right away because, again, it's tucked away kind of out of sight. So you want to make sure you're hitting those. But another big one we replace a lot every year is the black tank flush, the vacuum breaker. So this little guy here, on your tank flush you hook your hose up to, it's going to run water in, and the way this works, it runs water up into this. The flow goes up into here first. There's a little spring-loaded check valve in here, so the water pushes on through, goes back down to your black tank, flushes out the tank. It's got a little got a fitting in the end of that to kind of fan out the water inside the tank, and this is sort of a gravity feed. It does have a spring in here to push that back, so that way when you're going down the road, the wind isn't creating a siphon and pulling water out of the black tank and leaking back down through the hose and coming out inside your water hookup area on your camper. But it's very easy to kind of, for one, forget about getting this winterized, and two, it's difficult to know if you know that you've had enough antifreeze run through to protect this. This thing is just, it's plastic. There's really not much to it. There's a spring in here with a little disc on the inside that'll hit against the rubber seal that stops that water from coming through. But this little part here is about $39 to replace, and it's usually up underneath a cabinet or sometimes inside a wall. There may be access to get to it. I've seen some where you have to take the actual shower faucet off and a plate on the shower wall to be able to access where this is in the wall of the coach. So it's hard to tell if you've got enough antifreeze going through because you don't see it. It goes into your black tank. So you need to make sure you're getting this winterized properly. There's a couple ways that can be done to make a pump. It's got your hose fitting on there that's going to fit the standard garden hose size. It's going to fit on your tank flush. This would go down in your antifreeze, and then you just manually pump this out, this siphon hose, and you're going to pump that through. So this particular coach here, black tanks are actually somewhere towards the rear of this one. So this line is going to go pretty far somewhere in the cabinet to get up to it, and then another line pretty far away to your tank. So even if you just pump a few times to get some antifreeze and you think it's good, you may not have had enough to actually fully clear the water out of this that may be just resting right inside of this area right here, that gravity hasn't already taken out of there. So make sure you're pumping plenty of antifreeze through that to get this taken care of. And then if you have a coach like this one where you've got a winterized port on it, which is right here, you can actually hook the hose up, and then you turn the valves. That diverts it to where your water pump is drawing off of that fitting instead off the tank. So then you could hook that directly to your tank flush and run your pump, and then be able to pump water through. Just make sure you're leaving it on long enough that you feel confident that you've got some antifreeze in there, because for one, a $38, $39 plastic part's no fun to have to replace over something simple like just not getting it winterized, and two, it's usually in a difficult spot to get to, so might be some labor involved in getting that fixed. So something like that could end up costing you a couple $100 just to get this replaced because of winterizing. And you usually don't know it's bad until after you camp the first time, you hook your water to it to flush your tank out, and before you know it, you're spraying water inside a wall somewhere or under a cabinet and soaking whatever's in there. So it's just just super inconvenient to not get this winterized properly. Same thing goes with your washing machine hookups. It could end up being a costly mistake if you forget to do that. So hopefully this will help get you squared away for the winter and not have any unexpected bills in the spring when you're ready to go camping again. Thanks.